Welcome to Jeff's Changes for Life. Today's episode, you're allowed to be happy again. We're going to talk about healing, aging, joy, and making peace with time. As always, my program is not a substitute for any person that requires professional medical or psychological attention or treatment. There's something that I want to tell you today. Something that might go against the voice in your head or the silence you've lived with for a long time. You're allowed to be happy again. No matter what you've lost, no matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter how much time has passed, your story doesn't have to end in sorrow. It doesn't have to settle into survival mode. There's still room for joy. There's still space for you to feel alive again. And today on Jeff's Changes for Life, we're going to talk about why happiness after headache isn't selfish, it's sacred. And why getting older doesn't mean you're out of time. It means you're finally ready to live on your own terms. Let's talk a little bit about the weight of guilt that comes with healing. You've been through things: loss, grief, divorce, burnout, disappointment, and sometimes when a little light starts to creep back into your life, you feel you shouldn't be smiling. You don't deserve this. Remember what happened last time. But here's what I want you to remember. Healing does not mean forgetting. Joy does not erase your pain. You're not dishonoring the past by choosing to feel better. You're honoring yourself by choosing to live again. Why people fear feeling happy again? Well, let's talk about the fear underneath it all. Most people aren't afraid of happiness. They're afraid of losing it. They think, if I fall in love again, I'll just get hurt. If I start enjoying life, the other shoe will drop. If I let my guard down, I'm going to regret it. So what do? They shut down, they go numb, they control, they survive, but honestly, they don't live. And I know by doing all those things, we think we're protecting ourselves, we're protecting our heart, we're keeping ourselves away from the potential loss or the heartbreak or things like that. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. But what is the truth? You don't get to block out pain without also blocking out joy. And I know we never see it that way. Oh, I'm protecting myself, but we never see the positive, joyful, wonderful stuff that might enter our life and be one of the best things we've ever experienced. So numb is safe, but it's also empty. Happiness, it's a risk, yes, but it's a worthy one. And this time around, you're not fragile, you're wise. This joy you're reaching for, it's earned, and it's yours to keep. So let's not forget, and let's address the elephant in the room. You're getting older. So what? Now, I don't say so what loosely because I know the pain, I know the age, you're slowing down, but we're also getting a lot wiser. We're taking more chances. Things don't bother us like they used to. We don't care what people think so much, so we can take risks on love and business and dreams and things like that because we're smart enough and wise enough and calm enough to do it. But having said all of that, I still have to talk about age. So let's talk about age because for a lot of people, this is the biggest roadblock of all. They say, I'm too old to change, too old to start over, too late to matter. I don't really matter anymore. Let me tell you something. Getting older is not the end. It's the edge of something deeper. I know a lot of us are still thinking in that younger brain, but let me tell you this, you have more perspective, more resilience, more truth in your bones than you've ever had before. You don't age out of joy, you grow into it. Your soul still has music in it, and you're allowed to dance, laugh, explore, and love again right here, right now. Now, this is something that we have to talk about, the power of reclaiming joy. So, what does reclaiming your joy actually look like? It looks like you giving yourself permission to do things that light you up, to return to hobbies, friendships, creativity, life, to stop asking, what will people think? And start asking, what does my soul need? My friend, you've spent enough time surviving. Now it's time to remember what it feels like to thrive, even in the little moments. You don't need to justify your joy. You just need to embrace it. I can hear many of you now when you say that you're worried about getting older and you're running out of time. So now we come to something we all carry, even if we don't say it out loud. Am I running out of time? What if I waited too long? What happens when my time's up? Let's be honest. We're all going to leave this earth someday, but that's not the reason to fear life. That's a reason to lean into it. Here's the shift. You don't need more time. You need more presence in the time you already have. Don't worry about what you haven't done. Instead, ask, what can I still become? How can I make this moment matter? The goal isn't to live forever. It's to live so fully, so honestly, that when your time comes, you're not afraid of the end because you really showed up. And I'm going to say this again and again. You're still breathing, so you've still got time. You're allowed to be happy again. You're allowed to want peace. You're allowed to love your life, even after everything you've been through. And you're not too old. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're becoming. And that's something to celebrate. As always, this is Jeff with Jeff's Changes for Life. And today's going to rock because we just realized we're not too old, it's not too late, and we can still go after the things we can do to give us that exciting, fulfilling life that we've always wanted. And when our time comes, we can put our hands up and say, I've loved the very best I can. I've given all of me to life. I've gone after everything I wanted to fulfill my little heart, and I'm ready. So I can't leave today without a black and white message. Yes, I would be scared if you didn't put your foot in the water, if you didn't try, if you didn't go after what you wanted, because that's not the life you set out to have. That's why when you tell your story, it should sound like a lie. People should say, you've never loved that much. You've never done that much. You've never experienced that much. Nobody could, and I got news for you. You're just going to be standing there looking back at them with a big smile on your face.